Hello, my name is Chloe from the 4 Class Clowns. Today we have a guest and his name is Mr. Harris. He's retiring this year, so I'd like to know a little bit more about him. So let's get right into this, shall we? Are you
Sure.
excited for retiring this year?
Yeah, I'm getting more and more excited about retiring every day.
Why?
It's something to look forward to. Um, I have a lot of plans for my spare time that I'm going to have when I'm done. So,
So, what's are you gonna do another job after retiring?
well, for 2 years, I'll do substitute teaching because my teaching license will still be good for 2 more years. So I'm planning on substitute teaching, and this would be my first choice for substitute teaching. But I live right across the street from the school in Lebanon, my hometown. So I probably also will substitute teach there too.
Okay, so you're not like fully done with teaching.
No, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I know that's a shame.
Do you like teaching?
I really do. I wouldn't have done it for 28 years if I didn't.
Oh my
I kind of like don't do. If I don't like something, I'm not going to spend much time with it. So.
Why did you spend 28 years on teaching?
Why?
Yeah.
Because they kept letting me come in. I enjoy it. I really like working with kids. It's fun to see when kids get something when they don't understand it at first, then later on they do, and that's just a really neat feeling to see that happen.
Yeah. What is your favorite subject to teach?
Science, because I like being able to. A lot of the things kids don't know why something works, or they don't understand how something is the way it is, and science teaches you a lot of those things, how things do work, why they are the way they are.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool thing to be able to teach.
Who have you looked up to during your life?
Mr. Merriwether, because he's taller than I am. And there's a couple other people taller than I am, but here at school, I'm generally taller than most of them, so I'm looking down on everybody instead. No, there's quite a few people. I had some teachers that I grew up with, going through school, and that's one of the reasons why. Is I had several teachers that I really liked. I had a science teacher, Mr. Habermel, in high school, and I really liked him for that. I had Mrs. Daly was my math teacher in high school, so I enjoyed teaching math also.
Is there another job you wished to do besides teaching? Like, if you chose a different job to do, would you choose it over teaching?
Right now, there isn't anything I'd rather do other than teaching. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do or that I've done in the past that I really enjoyed, but teaching right now really is the primary thing I enjoy.
What movie could you watch nonstop, and why would you do it?
What movie? Shawshank Redemption is probably one of my favorite movies. And it's because it's somebody who gets falsely accused and he's in prison, and the system kind of works against him. So he figures out a way to break out of prison and get out. And it's just a real neat story, the way that it's told. It's told through the eyes of a different inmate who eventually does get released from prison and goes and joins him later then as a friend.
That sounds like a pretty good movie.
It's an awesome movie.
Is it really old?
By really old, it depends. Is it older than you? Probably. But as far as really old, no, it wasn't around when I was a kid or anything. So it's not a contemporary movie, but it's close to contemporary. It's not too old.
Do you have any pets?
No, unless you count Blueberry and Bluetail up in my room, and I'm giving them up at the end of the year, so I don't really consider them pets.
What's your favorite one if you do, like, out of the lizards?
Right now it's Bluetail because Blueberry keeps hiding. Blueberry doesn't come out. Bluetail's out roaming around the tank, so he's more interesting right now.
Do you have a favorite planet?
Pluto.
Why?
Because some days it's a planet and other days people say it's not a planet, and then people argue whether it's a planet or not. And it was a planet when I was a kid, so I kind of feel sorry for it that people think it's got an identity crisis.
Identity crisis. Would you rather prefer reading a book or watching a movie?
Absolutely reading a book, because there's times I'll, like in the middle of a movie, you're really hungry, you're thirsty, you go get popcorn or soda, and you come back and you're like, uh-oh, what did I miss? Where the book, you can put the book down, go get your soda or popcorn, come back and pick it up right where you were.
Yeah.
Plus, there's times in a movie, sometimes something happens and I think, okay, I don't get that. And you can't go back and see it again at the movie theater. So in a book, if you don't get something, you can go back to the pages and maybe you missed something. Maybe somebody said or did something you didn't notice. And you can always catch that back up a lot easier in a book than a movie.
Yeah, definitely. What kind of hobbies do you do in your free time?
Paint rocks.
Paint rocks?
And play Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I actually have had 3 different newspapers interview me and do articles on my rock painting. And I just started that this past summer.
Oh my
gosh. It's a huge trend is to paint rocks and then go hide them so people can find them. It's just like an ongoing Easter egg hunt. Right now I'm in the middle. I just last night finished painting. I have over 900 rocks that I painted to look like snowflakes so far.
Oh my God.
The reason for that is next summer in Lebanon, they do a Christmas in July, and I'm planning on having 2018 rocks that I hide that are all looking like snowflakes so you can say it was a blizzard. I'm dead serious. That sounds like a joke, but I could show you those rocks. I have over 900 of them so far.
Oh my, that's a lot of free time.
No, it really isn't. I can actually do about 30 rocks in a half an hour. So what I do is whenever I go down to my basement, like even this morning, before I took a shower, I spent about 5 minutes just doing a little bit on some of the rocks. And when I get home tonight, I'll go downstairs to check because I put laundry in the dryer. So when I go down to pull it out of the dryer, I'll spend 5 or 10 more minutes working on stuff. So it's like every time I go downstairs, I just spend a minute or 2 or 5 minutes or 10 minutes doing something. And I've been able to do that many rocks since I think I started in June.
Where do you store them?
In my basement. They're little. They're like the size of nickel, dime, quarter.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like gigantic.
No, not like boulders or anything.
Did you ever play Sportster in grade school?
Yeah, when I was in grade school, I did baseball, basketball, track and field. That was pretty bad. Actually, I was a pretty good baseball player. The basketball, I was way too short. And track and field, they made me run long distances. And like I love running. I could watch someone else do it all day. But I myself, no.
Same. What was the team called that you were on?
It was the Eagles. So it was Lebanon grade school. It was the Eagles. Now they're the Lebanon Greyhounds because the high school is the Greyhounds. So they match the high school now. It's easier. There's so many people that want to buy this or that with logos on it. Well, now kids can buy something in grade school that they can still wear in high school and still matches the team mascot.
Well, that's smart to do that.
Yeah, it really was.
Were you really early or you really late to school?
I used to be real early. Now I'm not. Now I'm pretty much just on time. A little bit early Sunday. Like this morning, I was here at 6:30, and I didn't have to be here till 7:10. So that's normal. Somewhere between 6:30 and 7, but sometimes earlier than that. I'd rather be early than late.
I was here at like 7:30. I was really late. What small things would make your day better? Like a smile. Would that make it better?
Smile would make it be better.
Or like
students completing their work correctly would make my day better. Getting paid to do this interview would make my day go better. Little things like that.
Little things like that. How do you feel about fundraisers at school? Do you like working for them?
I've been in charge of the ones for Land for Learning the last couple years, and I don't mind those, but I try and stay away from the ones like, okay, here's a list of stuff to sell, go sell it to people. I don't care for. I hated doing those when I was.
Like the Yankee Candle ones?
Yeah, I hated doing those when I was younger, so I try to think of things like that's why we do a 5th and 6th grade dance. That's why we sell concessions. I try to think of something different. We do a big yard sale, something other than go door to door, which ends up not being door to door, but hit up all your relatives and your parents and send them to work with them. And I just never been comfortable with that. I'll support them. I will buy one thing for every fundraiser from the first student that asks me. So I will support it that way. But it's not my favorite type of fundraiser. But I do like fundraisers. I hate
doing it because I had to do it for band, and it was just.
It's difficult. It's tough.
What's the best adventure you went on or gone on?
Best adventure. I'm not really an adventurous person. I like to kind of have things planned ahead of time, and I always think of adventures being spontaneous. Sometimes I go to conventions to play games, board games and card games and stuff. And sometimes those are adventures, just the people you meet or the different types of games you learn. That's an adventure to me.
Yeah. Whew. What's the favorite piece of clothing you own currently?
Oh, I don't know. I have this right foot sock that's white. I kind of like it. This actually is one of them, and you can see how cracked the letters are, how much I've worn it.
Yes.
And I really do. I've got this, and I have a Grant basketball sweatshirt that I like sweatshirts. And the Grant basketball sweatshirt is one that I actually got some paint on, and I still wear it here to school because I like it that much and don't care. If somebody says, you have paint on that, I'm like, yep, you're right, it is. It's paint.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
Retire instantly. Wouldn't wait till the end of the year. No, I would try and figure out how much money I'd have to put in a bank to get enough interest to live about the way I'm living now. And then I would probably buy lots of candy, lots of pizza, lots of soda, probably buy a sports car, and then I'd waste the rest of it.
Just like throw it in the air and be like,
I don't know. That could be, I could drive down the street and throw it in the air and see what people do. That'd be fun.
oh, that
I actually
would be
do have an
fun,
idea my brother and
actually.
I have had for years and years. We talked about if we win the lottery, we'd like to go to some really impoverished neighborhoods, where people don't have it so good, and find grocery stores and put money toward, ask the grocery store owner if they know some families that are struggling, and then give them money and tell them to start an account and let them buy stuff with that from the money. And then we travel all through the United States and do that. So we get to see the cities we wanted to. Like I love San Francisco. I'd like to go visit there. And that'd be fun to go do that to some of the neighborhoods and then go see some of the sites in San Francisco. But it'd be kind of cool to be able to spend your money on other people and them not even knowing you.
Exactly.
It'd be cool to be able to do that.
What is your favorite drink of all time? Like
water. Yeah, I can't do without it. Water's. Believe it or not, it really is. I have 2-liter bottles that I get from soda and stuff, and I'm frequently filling them with water, and I have that on the go. And I do add the flavor packets to it, so it has some variety. But I really, water is probably literally the thing I like the most.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You can't live without it.
It's one of those things like when I do coaching and stuff, at the end, I want water. I don't want soda. I don't want tea. I don't want,
It's just water.
I don't want juice. I just want water. When I'm really thirsty, that's really what I want. It's just plain old water instead of something flavored or carbonated.
Yeah. What job would you think you were terrible at?
I would be miserable if I was a ballet dancer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I would not be very good. I wouldn't look very good in a tutu either. I do have good legs, but the rest of me probably should be in a tutu.
What do you wish you knew more about?
That's funny. Almost everything. I mean, there's so many things I'd like to know, and you just don't have time to really look into them. And one thing I really enjoy when I have free time on my laptop is just literally looking up topics that I'm curious about. So
that's what I do all the time.
It's just there's literally I'd like to know more about pretty much everything.
What show are you into right now?
Well, I haven't had TV for over 2 weeks, or for over 2 years now. So it would have to be something online. Trying to think, because I do have Netflix. I'm trying to think what I just finished watching. Oh, Walking Dead. Absolutely. Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's the old joke, but I always said, I've decided what I'm going to do when I see dead people from now on. I'm tying their shoelaces together. That way, if there is a zombie apocalypse, it's not going to be frightening. It'll be funny. I mean, just think of them trying to walk and just falling all the time because their shoes are tied together. I think that'd be awesome.
Are you proud of retiring?
Am I proud? Sort of, because it means I've been doing something for a long time. And generally, you can't do something for a long time unless you're either really good at it or your bosses aren't very smart. And I think I have extremely good bosses here. I mean, it's Mrs. Lastly right now is one of my bosses, and I was her mentor when she started teaching here.
What's a mentor?
Mentor is the person that helps somebody if they have questions. We both taught 6th grade that year. I went into her room and broke up fights because she was pregnant with her daughter at the time, and she had a class that liked to fight. So I was in there constantly. I should say constantly, only a couple times. But it's someone who can help someone out. Mr. Steins, who's our superintendent, was actually in a classroom when I was doing observation here before I became a teacher. He was an 8th grader. So I've known my bosses for a long time, and I have a lot of respect for them. I think they're really, really neat. And so I feel that it's proud that I've been able to be in this district for this long, helping out. So, I really am proud about it.
What animal do you wish to be?
Oh, penguins. They're the coolest animal ever.
Penguins?
Yeah, penguins. Some people would say unicorns, but unicorns are shapeshifters, and the reason you don't see unicorns is because they've all turned into penguins, because how cool penguins are. So I would definitely want to be a penguin. Thought that answer was pretty serious. Okay, maybe not the unicorn part.
Okay, well, that's a wrap up, and I'm glad you came, Mr. Harris. I would love to have you on 4 Class Clowns again. Anyway, thank you for watching, and much appreciated.